Pants down, eyes up. That's the way I like to teach. My name is Professor Jerk, and you're in Trainables, Vladivostok 101. That's right, a battleship game. The most popular and least effective class in the game. Doesn't mean I don't like them. It just means that if I'm not in a destroyer or a cruiser, then someone who is not me is going to be in them, and those classes just have a much bigger impact on the outcome of a game, most of the time. Now, I've done numerous videos on the Vladivostok before, but I had this match a couple days ago, and as soon as it was over, I knew I needed to do something with it, because you all know how rare it is when someone on the blue team is going to step up and do some work. And in this match, you are going to see a Wildman Murdoch to my B.A. Baracus. Anyway, I want to say a couple things early before we get too far into this match. There are a lot of incredibly questionable moves made by the blue team here, and the red team trying to win harder all the way to a loss. And though I'm going to be pointing out some of moves I find questionable, it's important to remember we were all new to this game at one point, and part of playing it is to learn. I mean, you are in class after all. So first things first, on this map, this is my favorite spawn for this battleship, and if you look at the minimap, I'm going to show you the routes I normally like to take on this side for my initial setup. Vladivostok is very much about getting into a position and not letting others do what they want to do. And the nice thing about this side of the map is that there are numerous islands that allow you to reposition depending on what the red team is doing, or if there are destroyers trying to push you. Now, because I have no idea what my teammates are up to most of the time, getting that initial positioning can be quite difficult, as many times if you lead the way, then they follow right next to you, or you look up and they've all left. So sometimes I will try to fake moves just to be able to create a little space between me and my teammates, but this time it looks like those that spawn next to me seem ready to rush in, and we are going to see what happens when you do that. First off, our Amalfi was gone, and then the Siegfried, who cut broadside directly in front of me. You may have noticed I looked to see his health. It looks like they lost about 2/3 of their health. So anyway, you can see I am turning hard to starboard here to try and get this island to protect my broadside from this Roma and this Alabama, and I'm waiting to see what they do before I commit any further. We know that there aren't any destroyers over here because we saw the 3 battleships spawn and then the Wichita came over. Unfortunately, that Bismarck, for whatever reason, seems to be AFK, so I'm just going to park here for a little bit and wait for the red team to commit so I can make my next move. Now, at this point, I did see that the Alabama was moving forward, and that is my primary concern. That and removing this Wichita. God damn Wichitas. I will have my satisfaction at some point. And while I could have most likely turned in here to try and take out the Roma, there is no guarantee the Bismarck won't put down their phone and realize that they're in a match, and I would find myself caught in a crossfire, and crossfires on the Vladivostok are like really, really bad. So I'm turning around to get my guns on the other side and stay angled, but still be able to support. But maybe just one more shot. You know, I have to take it. Let's go for this one. Where are you, you SOB? Okay, the Alabama's gonna shoot me in the butt. So we're 4 minutes in, and just about half of our team is sunk. But watch what happens. Our friendly Benson on C torps the Alabama, and that is going to kickstart this Benson onto an absolute spree with reckless disregard for themselves. But by God, I am going to do what I can to make sure they stay alive, as destroyers are key to winning games. Now, if you've been paying attention to the minimap from the get-go, you will have noticed that our A and B cap players were drawn to my magnetic personality and headed this way near instantly, and while I can't blame them for being drawn to my boyish charm, I of course want them to stay where they spawn and win it, like the B cap, before they see which side's being overloaded and set up a crossfire there. But in the words of the time-traveling villain, the Syndic, trying to kidnap race car driver Alex Furlong, you can't always get what you want. And so I've got to make do with the hand I've been given, even if it feels a bit like the deck is stacked against us. And this hand says that I need to protect that Benson by taking out this Roma. We got a pretty decent hit there, but not a single Citadel shot, unfortunately, or they would have been gone. I am very concerned that our Benson is going to get themselves killed. And this won't be the last time that I have that feeling either. But by God, they're just going to keep shooting that Roma's bow with HE until they get off a torp salvo and take out the Roma. So, nice work. Now, no doubt drawn by the hooting and hollering, the rest of the battleships our team have poked their head in here, and I find them a lot less, "Here's Johnny," and a lot more like Olive Oyl screaming and swinging a knife. I have got myself turned around, and my general rule of thumb is that if I am facing the opposite direction as the rest of my team, then I'm going the right way. I did drop a salvo off on that Bismarck, and you see we got pretty decent damage. And I'm going to go ahead and load HE to send off another salvo in hopes that maybe I can get a fire and just get some damage going over time. You know, like I said earlier, we don't know if that player is ever going to come back, so since I have nothing else to shoot, I might as well try and take them out now. I am only going to use that one HE salvo. There's that goddamn Wichita. Cancel all my plans. We have one thing and one thing only that we need to do. We need to get rid of the radar cruiser to protect our Benson. This is really the only chance where we could potentially pull off a win in this game. And we need to do a lot. You can see we're down, 200 points, and they've got 4 of us sunk to only 2 of them. Nice move by this Wichita, though. They duck in behind that island, so I don't actually get a shot on them. I will direct your attention to the minimap, and you can see the blue Benson is now on a YOLO run to remove the AFK Bismarck. And I see the Wichita is shooting at the Benson is shooting at the Wichita, and so I am trying to get an angle on this Wichita, but I just can't get one over the top. So I'm going to check on the health. I see some torps out in the water, and what happens here? Our Benson gets another dev strike. So the Benson is now sunk 3 ships. And in the process of our teammates shooting at this Wichita, that drives them back far enough, allowing me to finally take that goddamn Wichita out and send them back to port. And this is when the red team decided to throw the game. If you look at the mountain range between B and C, they are pretty much set up to keep us on this side. They've got a Sinop, an Embra, Massachusetts, the 2 destroyers, and they could simply hold that line and we would never be able to make it around. But they end up making that fatal mistake of pushing onto the C cap, and that's going to set in motion a series of very fortunate events, like a broadside Embra. Only one. That should have been a dev strike. Vlad, sometimes you troll me. As I mentioned before, crossfire on a Vladivostok, or really any Russian battleship, is like water on a witch. It melts you. So the position that I need to get into now is parallel to this long island in front of me. Get my bow facing the Massachusetts on the south, and get my guns ready for anyone that tries to push my stern. All while being cognizant of the fact that there are destroyers here, and they are very close. And as you know, I am a destroyer hunting battleship for whatever reason. It is my job. And these destroyers are going to get caught with their pants down around their ankles somehow. I know they're over there, and there's the Moss, so I'm turning my guns to take a shot at them. but there's a very weak Venom. So line up a shot quick and take it. Venom is out. Turn my gun to focus on the moss and dodge these torps, which are not going to be an issue anyway. We'll take that shot at the moss and keep facing towards the Massachusetts. Keep dodging torps, but I also want to keep my guns ready to be able to take a shot at this moss. As it turns out, our friendly Benson is going to take them out for their 4th ship sunk. So the Benson is doing work. Now, because the red team was allowed to take that cap, and us being as far down on points as we are, the only way to win this match now is going to be by sinking the rest of the red team. I've dished out about 122,000 damage, and I am still pretty darn healthy with at least a couple heals left, so I am ready to go tank some damage and create a push. But because of how our team is laid out, setting up a crossfire on this red Massachusetts here is nearly impossible. So I'm going to move in behind ours and try to assist, while also trying to catch the Sinop off guard for a crossfire on it. As I get into position, I'm going to take some shots at the Massachusetts turrets here. But looks like these 16-inch shells just pass right through and provide a cool breeze to the crew inside. So I'm slowing down, and then I'm going to stop. I want to see what our friendly ship is going to do. Are they going to go for a ram? And if they do, I am hoping that would give me a good angle on the red ship to be able to do some damage, but they actually get crossfired, and that was when I realized I had in fact walked into a crossfire in front of the Sinop. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs. Now, I had put on HE because I was going to shoot the bow tanking Massachusetts, but it is imperative that I get into reverse because this Sinop is going to throw some water on this witch, and you're going to see what's going to happen here. The first shells aren't too bad, but the rear turret is going to get a double citadel on me. Chunk. But I did fire my HE, and we took out the Sinop for our 3rd ship sunk. So the score says it's about 750 to 400 right now, and I said we needed to sink every red ship there is, and that means by any means necessary. So gentlemen and ladies, prepare yourselves, get your last letters mailed to your loved ones, because we are going to make the ultimate sacrifice. Godspeed. Might as well see if we can't take out these guns once more. I mean, these are right there. More overpins. Well, and I don't know if you saw that kill feed there, but you're going to see it in the scoreboard here. Let's see what we did. 3,051 XP, just sneaking in a very good game, and let's see what the rest of our team did. What? Look at our wild man Vincent. A Kraken, 3,607 XP for a very good game. So good, in fact, that I took the unprecedented step and messaged them with a simple message saying, I think we carried the team. And they wrote back to inform me that this was the best game they have had yet. So that is pretty cool. And that's it for this one. No homework this week. You can thank Linux12 for that. Questions, comments, leave them in my office hours down below. This class is pass-fail as determined by your likes, and to guarantee your seat in the next class, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll get back out there for another one soon, and we'll talk then.